Today on episode 13 of the Home of Play podcast, cancellations and delays. We rank our most anticipated games of 2020 and more. What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to episode 13 of the Home of Play podcast, where the two best friends join forces to give you all the latest in PlayStation rumors, news, and reviews. And that's because we're true PlayStation fans. I'm your host, Steve, and with me I'm joined by the king of platinum trophies himself, Christopher.
Hello, hello.
If you enjoy this and would like to help support the brand, please follow, subscribe, review if possible on your podcast service of choice. And of course, please tell your friends, family, loved ones, sleepy Nana upstairs. And if she is asleep, I need you to go upstairs. I need you to open the door. I need you to break in there as loudly as possible. I need you to scream frantically, scaring her awake, of course. And then when she is awake, tell her to listen to the podcast. Please. On today's episode, we have no news to discuss. I'm just slightly joking, but seriously, it's just cancels and delays this week. So we really only have two articles to try to give you something. We decided to do our top anticipated games still to come in 2020. But before we do that, as always, let's begin with what we've been up to this last week. Chris, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Well, it's going to be pretty similar to last week's, although I have some completions to list.
More platinums.
More platinums! I've platinumed the Farming Simulator 19, so I'm now an official farmer.
I feel like that's the school to qualify.
It was actually really not too bad to do. Had it on the TV playing the game, and then on my laptop I had Netflix going, so it was comfortable. I liked it. And then
You're only a true farmer, though, if you feel like your government failed you by the end. You know?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. And then the second game, Persona 5 Royal. Loved it. Yep, that one is now platinumed and finished.
Oh, you did platinum the Royal? Oh, my gosh.
It's not a overly hard one. It's just more of a time crunch.
Yes, I know it's easier than the first one.
Yeah. I do like to point out that when I finished the game, my save file said 100 hours almost exactly.
No way.
Almost exactly, which is quite a bit seeing how I've already played the game before with the original version.
But
I wasn't skipping conversations.
That brings me back, though, because this was my problem with everyone talking about Persona in the first place. Is everyone kept quoting stupid numbers like, oh, it's going to take you like 120 hours to beat the Royal Edition. And I was like, I don't know about that. Like that sounds like a lot more content. But again, I didn't play it, so I kind of kept my mouth shut. But for you to platinum and still do it under 100 hours or just above, again, tells me, false quotes.
Yeah, I mean, for the platinum, I could see it. The only difference is there's in-game challenges now, which I definitely didn't finish all of them. But some of them were kind of meaningless. There's like ones where it's like, go and sit in the sauna 15 times. Why? Why would I? I mean, you get some bonuses to your stats and stuff, but there's better ways to get your stat bonuses.
Yeah.
Or like baseball, hit 30 home runs. Screw that shit. I'm not doing that.
No one can hit those baseballs.
I think by the end of it, too, I had 96% of the Pokedex. That's what it's called. I think I had 96% of all of them personas caught or whatever. So
okay.
I actually, when I went to the list, it didn't give me a list of any new ones. So it must have been ones that were partially hidden or you had to do something to get them. I'm not sure 100%. But
yeah.
Great game. Fantastic. 10 out of 10, which... The previous one had a 10 out of 10, so this one's even
10.5.
10.5, 11 out of 10. Love the game.
Yeah.
Am I going to go back and play it? Not anytime soon, because I recently finished the Persona 5 before this one not that long ago.
Yeah,
so.
Fun fact, I got him on that one.
Yeah, you got me hooked on that.
I told you it was my favorite game, and you were like, I don't know what you're talking about, and then you played it. And
what is this series you speak of?
Because I think after you played the original, you're like, I think this is my favorite game of all time.
It is pretty well near. We can generate a list of favorite games at some point, but it's definitely a close contender for number one for sure.
Bullshit. You told me it was number one.
It's probably number one. I really love the game, and I mean, overall, if I add my time limit between both games together, I think I have like maybe 250 hours in Persona 5 altogether.
Wow.
And like I could probably get more too.
Yeah.
So those are the 2 games I wrapped up this week. Finally jumped on the Man and Medan game. That was a little bit yesterday. Just trying to see how I'm enjoying that. It seems pretty good. I know we tried starting at games, but then we hadn't been able to get back to it. I started the single player version, but yeah, it's good. I like those types of choice style games where, multi-branching stories.
Yeah.
It seems like I'm going to enjoy it. It doesn't seem long. I think some of the reviews I was reading says probably maybe 5 hours, depending on how soon you get your characters killed. Apart from that, I think that's pretty much all I played this week. So, yeah. How about yourself, Steve? I haven't seen you online.
Okay, so I did play one thing. No surprise to you. Tabletop Simulator, my number 1 game of the year so far.
That's the one I did see you on, actually.
Yes. And that was fun. I guess I don't talk about it on the show too much because it's not PlayStation, but I am horribly addicted to Gloomhaven and all things Gloomhaven.
Right back at you, getting you addicted to something.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I almost owe it to your Peepaw.
Yeah, my dad's the one who got that one. I was pretty surprised when he came in and said, "Yeah, I just spent $260 on a board game or something like that." I'm like, "What?" I know board games are expensive. I have a lot of them, but
yeah,
I was like, "This is crazy."
Once you like get through the cards and you're like, "Oh, it has 1,000 cards." And
then, and the character models.
Yes, and all the
stands.
freaking pop outs. You're like, yeah, there's a reason this is $200, and how detailed it is.
Yeah, how detailed. Yeah, like there's a campaign, like a legit.
Like
campaign,
I'm not the most experienced board game out there, board game guy.
You don't look like a board game.
Yeah, I mean, I got hard corners. But I just, this to me, from my experience, is the most D&D in a box thing. Yeah, I've heard it quoted like that, and I'm like, yeah, like for sure. I get that. I see where they get that from. Maybe I don't know if Isaac, the creator, likes that reference, but I love it. I love it so much. I can't, like, every time we try to play together, usually we leave 2-week breaks in between play sessions just so no one gets fully burnt out. But like, I feel like I die every time just waiting to get more in, right? Because the game's long, right? Like a scenario takes 2 to 3 hours, and the more people you play with, up to 4 people, the longer those scenarios take. So unfortunately, we can play 8 hours at a time and only get 2, 3, maybe 3 scenarios if we're lucky.
I like the comparison to D&D. It's very D&D. The only thing I would say is it's
the difficulty is D&D. God,
difficulty for sure. And it's just a little bit more scripted than D&D.
Oh, for
D&D,
sure.
you can. It's more
your imagination.
Yeah, you just need to know how to roll up basic stats and all that kind of stuff.
Where this one gives you a little more, like, you can see physically. Okay, the enemy's here. He has certain movement. Like, your movement would be the biggest difference, I guess.
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure.
But either way, I love it. So it's hard to get all the guys together, obviously. So Tabletop Simulator, I used to use it all the time to play Dark Souls board game because I don't get enough Dark Souls apparently. So then we tried it with Gloomhaven. We didn't really keep the stats because I don't want to break up the group in person. So
yeah, we are meeting at least once a month.
Yeah, but for me, it was just a learning opportunity to be like, hey, how do I play this better? Am I understanding the game better? Me and Curtis, at least we come up with a lot of, okay, we're clearly not doing this rule right, because there's so many rules that fight other ones, and it's very detailed. Like, if you need to read everything in detail, like even your personal goal with, like, in Gloomhaven, we're like, yeah, we're playing Gloomhaven, yay, and then later you're like, oh no, like, it literally means in the town of Gloomhaven. Yeah, like, don't be a dumb. So
I mean, we've played 4 or 5 times now, and I think we're still figuring out certain intricacies of rules, and how they blend together, and because you kind of control, like, us as the player have to control the movement of the enemies, and they have specific scripts and ways they move.
Well, enemy AI is one of the hardest things about the game.
Yeah,
and like,
it's kind of like our choice on where they move, but
sometimes
they move towards you.
There's certain scenarios where it's very like, no, you go here and it's clear, it's 100%, but then there's other times where, because of the hexagons, it could be one or the other. So then at that point, just like Dark Souls, the board game, it's up to your kind of decision, which is nice sometimes.
It's really good. Highly recommend it. Especially, I wouldn't say an average casual board game player would get into it. Like the person that's going to play, Monopoly and Sorry and the casual board gamer. It's not something they would be able to. They could get into it, but it's not. You're not going to pick it up right away.
And this is one of the things that if you want to get in Gloomhaven, I got into it because Frosthaven was announced, and this is now I'm starting to get more into board games. Like I just never realized this is what board games could be. So I saw Frosthaven, then I was like, okay, like everyone's really ramping this. It's showing up in all my feeds. So I looked into it, like Gloomhaven, sorry, and then that's Frosthaven's the only reason I got Gloomhaven. So now I have this giant game to play. We probably won't even beat it by the time Frosthaven comes out next year. So we'll just constantly be playing this game until I'm dead.
Yeah, we meet up like once a month, and we probably get 2 or 3 scenarios
out of
done.
Almost 100.
Is it 100?
It's 94, 95 or
but
something.
Some scenarios
we won't do.
Yeah, and you eliminate some scenarios by doing other ones.
Yeah. And the other one, Frosthaven, I'm being quoted 100 plus.
Yay. It's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. So that was all I really had time for. A lot of stuff going on in my life right now. Fun banking stuff like mortgage re-signings, all that good stuff. Just the boring tax man on me. Other than that, I didn't get a lot of time, unfortunately, but hopefully things are going to start settling down. And good timing. Last of Us 2's getting great previews.
It is.
So,
I mean, there's the spoilers that are out there. We won't get into it,
no.
but I mean, as long as it's a fun game. I've said it
which
before.
it sounds like it is.
It sounds like fun
I think
gameplay.
the quote I'll take from, well, I shouldn't say it because it's not coming from me, but the quote I heard about Greg Miller was, I think he said something along the lines of, he has a hard time believing this won't be Game of the Year.
That's pretty high praise, seeing how there's going to be a lot of competition this year with Ghost of Tsushima, and Call of Duty always likes to throw their head in the ring there, and
yeah,
could be interesting. Not sure.
I don't think. Okay, so these are just random pokes at the air. I have a feeling, and I could be totally wrong, like I said, but that Ghost of Tsushima is not going to do that great. I do not see that being Game of the Year. I could be wrong. Like Sekiro won last year, and I hated that game.
It's tough with new IPs to stand out that much. It's doable, but it's tough.
Especially when this one so far looks very much like, I'm like, okay, I see Assassin's Creed here. Like, I'm okay playing another Assassin's Creed. And don't get me wrong, there's going to be differences, obviously. But it feels very like they're playing it safe, in my opinion. But I haven't got my hands on it. I shouldn't talk too much. So we're just going to jump into the news. First one being what we forgot last week. That could be a new podcast and a podcast. What we forgot. Basically, we totally forgot about the PlayStation Plus games of the month of June, which they're better than last month's, but I'm not jumping off my couch.
They kind of went to extremes. Like the last two were simulation style games.
Yeah.
And now they're I don't want to say overcorrecting, but they're kind of overcorrecting and going to first-person shooters.
Yes.
So, yeah, the games released for, what month are we already? I forgot.
June.
We got Call of Duty, was it World War II?
Yep.
And Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yep.
So that's a good selection. It hits the shooter market, that's for sure. I've played both of these. Have you?
No, neither actually.
No? Are you interested in either of these ones?
I'll probably get Battlefront. I hated the first one, and it's not like I get why it was the way it was, so I'm not shitting on the game. Well, I guess I'll shit on how small it was and how many limited this and that. But I hated the shooting, and it makes sense in my head because I'm like, okay, it's a laser, you're shooting a laser beam, but that was also like why I felt like I could never hit anything because it's the light and you shoot and like. He's already here because you shot when he was there, and it just never worked out for me. So I just felt like, you'd go from like Titanfall or Call of Duty, and I'm getting a pretty good kill streak to this, and I'd be lucky if I killed 2 people. And even when I did kill 2 people, I felt like I was begging. I'm like, please, sir, please just let me shoot you in the back of the head. Like, stand still for 5 seconds.
So I played Star Wars Battlefront 2 when it came out, which was the rough time to play it, according to most people.
Oh, yeah.
I would agree. So one advantage you're getting is you actually had a story mode in this one.
Which I heard was awful.
It is better than not having one, I guess. But it does come with one. It's not awful. It has lots of like tie-ins to the lore of Star Wars and all that, which obviously it would, but there's a few more.
It feels like that's what it
scenes.
leaned on, though.
Yeah, it leaned on it.
It wanted nostalgia points.
And then, I mean, it didn't get the best press initially just because of all the pay-to-win features, and there wasn't a lot of substance when it first came out.
Well, I can't remember what the hours were, but people were saying if you want to unlock everything, it was ungodly.
You'd still be playing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now, I from what I've been hearing, haven't personally wanted to go back to it. It's pretty good. Sounds like they've added a lot of content. I can't really speak to it because I don't know, but they've added more maps, more gameplay, tweaked things.
Yeah, there's
tons of good things. It's
I heard
pretty good
more game modes that people are excited about.
I remember that my one favorite mode from the first one was Heroes versus Villains, where you have 3 heroes, 3 villains, and then 3 just regular NPC guys.
Yeah. And
you would have to take out the 3 heroes or villains. Great mode. And then they changed it in the second one, which was just awful, where it was, I think, 4 heroes versus 4 villains.
Okay.
And it was pretty much team deathmatch. It just wasn't fun. Like you'd constantly be jumping through. I can't remember if you would choose different heroes when you die or if you just stuck with that one the whole match. It was awful. It just wasn't fun.
I thought that's what we played in the first one, though. Is 3-on-3 and everyone was a hero or a villain.
It was 6-on-6, I think.
Oh, was that what it was?
Yeah, it was 3 heroes, 3 villains, and then 3 NPCs, 3 NPCs.
Oh, okay.
And once you took out the 3 heroes or villains, you would come back as regular NPCs.
Oh, okay.
And it was really fun. This one, it was just when you be a hero, if you die, you just respawn as the hero again. It's just team deathmatch kills. It was awful. It just wasn't fun.
I mean, I
like that. I like that ability where it's not ability, but where you're playing more cautious because if you die, then you're out, right?
Yeah.
Or you come back as a regular NPC who's useless.
You almost wish you were out.
Depending on who you got to play as, yeah. But the new mode that they changed it to, it was just that one really ruined it for me. And they also removed like the co-op. I don't remember what the mode was called, but it was just you could join your buddy and just do waves of enemies, kind of like horde mode.
Yeah.
But it was pretty decent in the first one. They took that out too. All the good things from the first one, which wasn't a lot, they took out. Which I don't know if they've corrected it since then. Maybe they have. I wasn't impressed.
Yeah. I think I'm interested. Yeah, Battlefront 2 will be the only one I download. I'm a weird fanboy of Kylo Ren. So now that they added all these great characters, because there's so many. You can be Rey, Kylo Ren.
Yeah,
like
they pretty much added everybody.
Everyone. I'm pretty sure you can be the little green guy that like Han Solo kills.
I think so. Guido?
Yeah, thank you. All that kind of stuff. So I'm going to try it probably just to be Kylo.
Yeah. I remember playing as him. It was fun.
Give me his hissing lightsaber. That's all I want. Yeah. It's so angry.
I can't even do it right. And then Call of Duty World War II.
Boo.
I played that. I played that one. Story mode was exactly what you would expect from it. Same story you've seen before.
I've never seen a World War II game.
Have you not played a World War II
no.
game? This is the first one.
Dude,
what's World War II?
Like, maybe I'm dating myself, but like when I was in junior high to high school, that's all we had. God damn, if every year wasn't people talking about World War II games. And I'm just like, how many times can I storm the beach of Normandy?
This many times. I'm holding up a high number.
It's ridiculous. And so I'm so sick. Anytime I hear any World War games, I'm out. Battlefield, my favorite Battlefield is probably 4. Then they went to Battlefield 1, and I'm like, no.
No, I agree with you. I don't find it as fun. Although I do actually like the old guns, some of them. Like the old classic rifles I like. I don't like I'm not a submachine gunner anyway, but I don't really give a shit about those guns, but I like the old style rifles. They're just fun to shoot. The ones are like where you shoot and it's like ding, and you're like, oh yeah, and then you load another bullet in. Those ones are the best.
I don't disagree audio wise, but playing with them, I'm just like,
you'll never hit anything.
Give me the SCAR or whatever the hell. I'm like, I want to use that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I platinumed that one I did. Battlefield, I didn't have the patience for just because I just didn't want to do the multiplayer. I just didn't care for it.
Yeah.
There's too many multiplayer trophies. I think I got all the single player ones.
I mean, I'm just happy that we're getting a better selection.
Oh, it's definitely for sure a better selection. I don't know how many people are still playing Call of Duty though. World War II, like most people in the next, because that one's 3 ago, I think.
Yes.
So I don't know how many people would be still playing it.
It was the Black Ops 4 was the last one, right?
Not
The most recent. Modern Warfare, then it was Black Ops 4, and then it was World War II before that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're going the other way. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I should have phrased that
No,
better.
I know what you, yeah, it was 3 ago, so, yeah.
Considering I've not played any of those, I'm amazed that I even know.
No, and I played them all, and I didn't even remember. They all blur together.
I think the last one I played was Black Ops 3. With you,
it was
probably.
Good. Yeah, it was fun.
It was Titanfall.
I preferred the Modern Warfare storyline over any of the other ones.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then zombies I never got into until Black Ops 3, actually.
Oh, really?
No, I couldn't. Back then, I didn't have good internet, so I wasn't really wanting to play with people.
That's enough of that. Let's go to number 2 and our final news story for a short news week. So, yeah, this topic's going to be kind of a bunch summed in one, but basically that is all to do with the cancellation and delays of a lot of news we were supposed to get this week. We were supposed to see PlayStation 5's first big kind of open up conference. That is delayed or canceled. CD Projekt Red was supposed to do something. That didn't work out. So we're kind of just talking about that, our feelings about that, and I'll let Chris kind of take it away.
So the announcement we got from PlayStation was we have decided to postpone the PlayStation 5 event scheduled for June 4th. While we understand gamers worldwide are excited to see PlayStation 5 games, we do not feel that right now is the time for celebration, and for now, we want to stand back and allow more important voices to be heard. CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077 announcement on Twitter was, we decided to move Night City Wire to June 25th. We still look forward to sharing new information about CP77, but more important discussions are happening right now, and we want them to be heard. We wholeheartedly stand against racism, intolerance, and violence. Black Lives Matter.
So yeah, that's basically the news this week is that there's no news this week.
No news. Everything's postponed because of what's going on. So yeah, as you could tell, we're disappointed. Everybody's disappointed. Everybody's disappointed in what's going on. It's like, what more can we say about it?
What I like about CD Projekt Red is they came out and they said, "Here, we're going to move it to the 25th."
Keep in mind, theirs was scheduled for the 11th, so they had more announcement in that.
Yeah.
Whereas Sony, like at they announced it like a week ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, now we're not going to do it.
But
it's
then
like, stuff was still going on a week ago.
But
so.
they haven't. There's no update like when it is. So half of me is kind of like, hopefully they're not just taking advantage of this and being like, we weren't really ready anyway.
Yeah, we weren't ready, and now it's going to be flawless when it happens.
Wow. And again, when, right? Is it July now? Is it? I'm like, they keep the one thing they even say is like, we're still coming out. We're still coming out this holiday. Don't you guys worry. I'm like, we're worrying because you're not saying anything. You keep saying it's coming out, and it's like, when the anything come out well with like no conversation before launch? The bad things come out with no news on them.
Yeah.
Like that, like stuff like that where you know it's like movies in July, or sorry, not July, January. That's why they come out in January, because it's like the only chance they have. The Grudge 2020 remake, shitty
Best movie.
Oh, yeah, controversial. And like stuff like that, and it's just ridiculous. So I'm just like, just say something, and if you don't want to do it now, fine. Then pick another date.
Yeah, give us some reassurance on hope. I guess.
I know, right?
Just throw something out there. Let us know.
That's it for this very short, very brief news week of not news. So to have a little bit more fun, me and Chris decided to do a list of our most anticipated games for 2020. We're going to start from the bottom of the list. and work our way to our most anticipated game of 2020. And it's a little loose, guys, so if you're a little upset, some games I'm going to name. I don't know about Chris's list yet either. We didn't tell each other beforehand. But some of my games aren't confirmed. They suggest 2020 releases, but there's no confirmed date. So if I'm
mine
wrong,
as well could spill into 2021.
yeah, well, and especially with the year we've been having, like when this year started, how many freaking delays? That's all the news was delayed.
Everything was
delayed.
already delayed.
Yes. So, yeah, forgive us if some of these games don't come out, but from what we can speculate, I'm trying to do. I'm trying here.
Yeah. So how many do you have on your list?
I have 11, but I'm going to try to keep us at 10. And you can feel free to change stuff if I say it in front of you.
Okay.
And but we'll try to keep it to 10. So I'm gonna let you start at your number 10, and we'll go from there.
Okay. So yeah, I quickly went online to look at upcoming games. Most of the ones I knew I already wanted, but there was a handful that I didn't know, or I knew that existed, but I didn't know when they were coming out. So my number 10 is kind of a nostalgia surprise. I didn't even know it was coming out. Was Evil Genius 2 World Domination. So I don't know if you would remember that one. It's an old PC game. I remember playing it in high school. My art teacher actually is the one who introduced me to Evil Genius. I think he actually gave me a copy of it. And it's pretty much just a kind of like a city builder, but in a mountain. And you're building like Evil Genius type of stuff. Reminds me of like Austin Powers type of stuff, like that type of era of like evil geniuses and stuff.
Can I
like
make a mini me?
I don't know if you can make a mini me in the original, but it was a fun game. You build traps and agents would come and attack your base
I guess
and stuff.
Mini me's aren't culturally appropriate anymore, so
A mini you.
yeah.
Anyways, that's my number 10, which was, I know probably most people wouldn't know about it, but it was a surprise. I didn't know it was coming. So,
nope. My number 10, mother.
We're bouncing back.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that's what we're doing.
Oh yeah, drag it out.
Yeah.
So my number 10 is at the bottom for a good reason, in my opinion. But Marvel's Avengers, supposedly coming out in September.
Ooh.
So I'm excited, but not excited because it screams a lot of Anthem to me.
Do you I just want to ask, do you think you're for sure gonna get it? Is that it's on your list, but are you gonna get it?
Currently, no.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm anticipating. I'm excited for it.
It did not make
I'm
my
semi-excited for it, but that's why it's at the bottom.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I'm going to get it the way I'm standing on it now, but I could be wrong. They might, closer to release, we'll talk about something. Maybe they show us a little something.
They haven't shown us much.
No, and maybe I'll have a little more confidence in it. So I'm still somewhat excited for it because these are the characters I love, right? Like any game that lets me play as Hulk, I'm probably in anyway. So yeah, I'm in. I'm going to put it there. Again, I'm just more worried about the looter shooter bullcrap. Like it seems like Anthem
Every
that
other
way.
game.
Yeah, and they collect these rare and uniques, and I don't care about that. I don't want to play the same mission 1,800 times to get better gear. I'm a little worried about this story. I don't know. It's always these weird decisions games are making now, but it kind of looks like from the new stuff that your main character is almost this stupid Elastigirl or whatever the hell they call her. I think it's Miss Marvel or something, but either way, I have no interest in that character, and it looks like the stupidest character. And if you're going to pick some random stupid character that no one's really heard of, then pick Reed Richards. He's a Fantastic Four, and he has the same freaking powers. I'm he stretches, her hand gets bigger, his hand gets bigger. I don't care, but pick someone I actually give a shit about, someone I grew up with.
Yeah.
But whatever. I know why they did it. I just don't want to get into it. But basically, that's my number 10. I'm worried about it, but I'm still interested. What's your number 9?
My number 9 is another one that I knew about, but didn't know any timeline or anything on. Rainbow Six Quarantine.
Okay.
I've gotten much more into Rainbow Six more recently in the past couple months, playing Siege. We actually got a group of people together that actually was doing it for a while, and it's one of those fun, really tactical games, which I like. And I've always been a fan of games where you only have the one life, and then if you're dead, you're out.
Yeah, that was always my SOCOM 2 days.
Oh, yeah, SOCOM back in the day, man.
Oh, I know, right?
So not much to say about that one, but that one's definitely on my piqued my interest list. How about your number 9?
My number 9 is Watch Dogs Legion.
That is on my list.
So it's not so far going to be a buy for me. It's kind of like Marvel's Avengers, where I'm cautiously optimistic. It would be the way I'd state that. Just because the game mechanic to it worries me. Like, I feel like it could be as negative as they're promoting it to be a positive. And what I mean by that is basically they're talking about all these characters you can play as. You find a character, any NPC, and possibly you can make him a team member. But really, like, especially like everyone keeps making the joke of like, oh, I'm gonna have a squad of grandmas. But are they going to be different? Like, are they really like, or is it just going to be some jargon that you're like, you read her little backstory, but is she going to play the same? Is she going to basically have everything else the same? Like, I'm worried this game is going to have a bunch of generic ass characters.
Yeah, my main concern for the game is, am I going to be able? Is there going to be a character where I'm actually going to be able to bond with the character, or am I just switching them constantly between characters and just not caring about them, and their stories? Like, I need some character that I can at least bond with.
That was going to be my second point. I agree with you. I'm having a hard time understanding how you're going to have that solid storyline with just some guy that could die at any moment. Don't get me wrong, that's kind of cool, but at the same time, I'm like, well, if I just spent half the game with this one character, and I don't know much about this game, so maybe that's not even a thing, but if I did, and all of a sudden he's dead now, and I just carry on with like a 70-year-old grandmother who's like robbing an ATM machine, I feel like that's a loss. So what's your number 8?
My number 8 is Hellblade 2: Senua's Saga.
Okay, so an exclusive Xbox game.
It's exclusive Xbox,
Sorry,
but it'll be on PC.
Microsoft.
Yeah, so it'll be on PC. I played the first one on PC. Really enjoyed it. It was a interesting experience is the best way to say it.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen much about it yet, but I already kind of know what you're going to get with it. So I'm kind of excited for that
I
one.
played the first one on PS4 because weirdly in this scenario, it was the exclusive at the time for that console. So I played it. I have a history with that studio. I'm one of the rare ones. I freaking love Heavenly Sword.
Oh yeah,
I loved it way too much at the time. I thought it was the most beautiful game. At
that
least
was the PS3
character
exclusive,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
the characteristics in their face. I didn't mind the story. I like that kind of game. It was kind of like a God of War. So I've always kind of tried to play their games if I can, if it interests me. So I played Hellblade. Unlike you though, I never finished it. I just, because of what it was trying to do, which I appreciated half of it, the other half is like, you don't know what to do. There is no explanation. So I just found myself always getting frustrated and being like, okay, like I only have 2 hours to play a game in a day on average. Sometimes I can find more, but it's like, I don't want to waste that 2 hours constantly repeating because I don't understand what the hell is going on. So that's just more of a personal gripe.
What's your number 8?
Oh, number 8, Ghost of Tsushima, coming out in July.
That's low.
It's low because, again, it just seems like an Assassin's Creed.
But you think you're probably gonna get
I'm
this
probably
one.
going to get this one.
Yeah, but it's lower on your list.
It is lower on my list only because, again, it copies a lot of the things I've seen already. There's nothing that they've shown me so far that makes it stand out.
This is on my list as
other
well.
than petting foxes. And because my dog's a Shiba.
Did he? Oh, he did pet it.
He petted it. And because my dog's a Shiba, he looks like a fox to me. So I can kind of put myself in the game and be like, yeah, I pet foxes too, buddy. What's your number 7?
My number 7 has been more of a recent unraveling. The new Yakuza, Like a Dragon.
I saw it on the list and I was like, I wonder if this is coming up.
Yeah, I know. I'm not really into that style of, like, I'm not a mafia interested in that kind of stuff guy, but I was house sitting for my parents and I didn't have good internet there, so I had one of the Yakuza games and kind of fell in love with it and just ran around doing all the side quests, many side quests, but it was one of those decent ones. The combat was fun, at least in the revivals of the game. So I'm keeping my eye out on this one. I don't know if it's like a definite buy right away. It might be one of those ones where I wait till it gets cheaper, but yeah, it's something I'm keeping my eye on.
And I know I'm anti-Yakuza now that I've tried them, but hopefully this one's I can't. Is this the turn-based one?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, because I know there was talk about one of them being turn-based, and some people loving it, some people being upset that they're changing anything. Which, if any series needs a change, hello. My number 7 is Tales of Arise. So I saw this at E3, I believe it was when they unveiled it. I haven't played a lot of Tales games, but for some reason the aesthetics of this one got me, and I think I just want another RPG.
Oh, okay. At first I didn't know which one it was, but
Tales of Berseria.
once you said, okay, all those. I remember playing the demo for some of those older ones.
But the cutscene got me. I liked what I saw. It might be generic, but I just want another RPG. You know, Persona is the only RPG I've been playing in a while, so that interests me. So again, that one's not. I thought it was talked about 2020, but there's no confirmed date on it. So that could be one of those ones that I could easily see, becoming a more February, March of next year. What's your number 6?
My number 6 is one that you already said. That's where my Watch Dogs Legion went.
Okay, so definitely higher than me.
Yeah, I actually already have this one pre-ordered.
Really?
I've been
you did it a long time ago, though.
Yeah, I did it probably over a year ago.
This is a game you should have played in March, apparently.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I had it. It was an old pre-order. I got a deal on the pre-order. It was like 30% off or something, and so I was like, for sure. I played the first 2, really liked it. We've already talked about these ones now, so I'll pass it back to you. Number 6.
Number 6, Last of Us Part 2 in June.
Also on my list.
Yeah, so I have it in midway, a little under midway, just because I can't seem to get the hype for this. I'm one of the guys that would have given the first Last of Us a 10 out of 10, especially at the time. I think if I went back, it would only do me a disservice. I don't think I'd review it as high, just now knowing, because it was a storyline that sold it. The gameplay itself
definitely
was solid, but nothing game-breaking or like revolutionary in my opinion.
You gotta keep in mind too, we're definitely getting this game. Like,
yes,
we are getting this game. It's
this
just
game happens
hype-wise.
This game happens to drop midway through my holidays, so there's no way I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be able to give you a review pretty fast once it comes out. So look forward to that as well. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is whatever the new Call of Duty is going to be. I'm
okay,
always
so the Cold
averagely
War.
hyped for her.
We'll call it Cold War. Sorry.
Cold War.
Yeah,
say that 5 times fast. There's not much I have to say about Call of Duty excitement. I'm always decently hyped for them. They're always a good time for at least a couple months of gameplay usually.
Yeah.
If they have a story or not. So this one will obviously have a story, I would think. Yeah, there's not much to say about that one. I mean,
it's a Call of Duty.
Yeah, you know what you're gonna get, right?
Quick scopes in the head.
Yep.
And a one button kill for everyone.
Noob tube.
Yeah. My number 5. I think you might have forgotten about this one, so I'm gonna throw it at you because you might be interested. But Elden Ring.
Oh, I did forget about that
by
one.
the old George Railroad Martin.
Who? What
From
company?
Software. That's Dark
Souls. Is that
Souls.
from Software?
Yeah.
It is definitely not on my list, and I did forget about that one.
Yeah, they haven't really shown a lot, so another game I could easily see getting shot out.
It's my number 14.
So I'm really excited for it. With little information, all I can think of is the endless possibilities in my head, but I like hearing the combination of those two. I don't know how that's going to work, but anything from Software that's like fantasy related like that, I think Sekiro just didn't blend for me. But going back to like swords and shields and mythological this or that, I'm interested.
Well, it'd be nice to get a game from Software that actually has a story.
That would be kind of nice. It's just unfortunate they picked George Railroad Martin to do that story.
A story that actually hits you in the face, not that you have to dig through.
Please.
So I'm not saying that the other ones don't have stories. I'm just saying you have to dig for them.
If I have to play a character that sister, I'm gonna be pissed. That's my main character. Anyway, what's your number 4?
My number 4, which we've already talked about, is Last of Us 2.
Okay, so you're only 2 spots higher.
Yeah, I'm this is like the average excitement. Obviously we're getting it. We know what we're getting. Good story.
I think the previews got me more excited than anything.
Gameplay is going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your number 4?
My number 4, random, that other people may not be as excited for, but it speaks to me from my past. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
Oh, yeah. I've heard good things about this one and the first one.
Yeah.
But I never played the first one. I
wanted to play more of it, and at the time, my PC could not run it. So I got a very little bite-sized chunk of it.
You know what? I'm going to ask you, do you think the first one holds up right now if I were to play it? What was the original? Was it PS4?
So
PC?
Oh my god, dude, it's PC and it's
It's that
long
old?
time ago.
Okay.
It was like my high school days.
So it might not hold up.
It honestly, I can't. I'm throwing weird numbers. I think it's pre 2005.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's probably why I don't recall it.
Yeah, I just remember it not working and me being pouty.
But yeah, I've been hearing a lot of good things about the original now, and so
it's
been hearing good
very
things about the
much
second
like
one.
you can see, in my opinion, where other games took from it. Like it was, I'd say almost like Fallout-ish in terms of like you're talking to people, or you're doing like decisions, and it was cool. Like, and I like weird vampire stuff, So I'm more hyped for this. As soon as they even announced it was a real thing, I was like, oh, frick yes.
Did you play the vampire game? Like it's just called Vampire?
I played like 10 minutes and loathed it.
I really liked it.
Really?
I did.
I thought the combat was horrendous.
The combat was above average. It wasn't
What?
horrendous, but it was average to above average.
After this, we're pulling up the Metacritic. I want you to eat.
Solid 60 then, because that's where I'm putting it.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
Is that going to be on your number one? It's like
No.
a a re-enhanced version for the PS5?
So my number 3 is another one that you've mentioned. I think our top 3s are probably going to be pretty similar. Maybe
Probably.
not. Ghosts of Tsushima.
Okay. You have that way higher than me.
Yeah, I'm compared to everything else on the list, and it coming out sooner than a lot of these other ones. I've gotten more hyped.
Okay.
I think I'll even get a little bit more hyped as it comes
you-
closer, but it's not going to pass my number 1 2 for
Are
sure.
you hyped to be the ghost, or are you hyped to be the samurai nobleman?
I'm not hyped for either one because I know my play style, and my play style is going to be stealthy always.
Well, then I'd say
So,
ghost.
but I'm not more excited to do one or the other. It's just naturally my gameplay. I'm going to be stealthy.
Okay.
So, I mean, and is it going to have that replayability to play the other mode? Yeah, I'll do it if it's got a trophy attached to it.
It feels, I don't know, the way they've made it sound like is you kind of have to do both, but you can lean more into one or the other.
Maybe
But
as a
it's
chapter
not-
select. Maybe?
It's not exclusive to the other, which is nice. Like I did hear they finally confirmed, because that was one of my fears from the gameplay trailers. I'm like, oh, so if I pick one, I'm locked in, which was something, it's like a narrative I made on myself. So I put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
What is your number 3?
Cyberpunk 2077,
Oh,
September.
okay.
So I was super hyped about this game, but I'm seemingly getting less hyped about it the more and more they don't talk about it. I always bring up the issue in my head is that I don't think anyway, in the history of me, that I can think of a game that's this close to coming out that no one's ever played. There's literally no one has played this game other than CD Projekt Red. I don't know why I always have a hard time.
They're so seedy.
Well, I keep thinking CD as like a compact disc, right?
Oh, yeah.
It ruins my face. So yeah, like that bothers me. It's just like even I always have arguments around here or there, but some people are like, well, other games aren't always playable. I'm like, well, frick, even Square Enix that has the worst track record. Final Fantasy VII Remake was playable at E3 last year.
Yeah.
People touched it. No one has themselves, even in the industry, touched this game. They just let them see them play it, but it's a very closed course kind of thing. They're making sure they control the whole narrative. I'm like, that worries me.
We'll have to ask you this in 3 weeks after their event. And
Yeah.
See how you feel.
No, and hopefully,
I don't. I know what your number 1's going to be, but I have no clue what your number 2 is right now,
Okay.
which is confusing me. So
It's going to be one from left field, and also probably not 2020, but yeah, we'll get to it.
Okay, so my number 2, what was it? Oh, yes, which I think is going to be your number 1, Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what more needs to be said. I mean, it's Assassin's Creed. It looks fantastic. I'm going to wait till it's the PS5 version
Same.
unless they give us both versions, which they probably won't.
Even if they give me both on PS5.
Yeah,
I don't
so-
even want to see it.
You don't even want to see it on the PS4.
Well, and especially like that game relies heavily on fast travel. What better console to play that on?
So, I mean, yeah, there's nothing more to say about it. It's going to be great. Love it already. I mean, we haven't seen any gameplay, but it's Assassin's Creed. We know what we're getting.
You ready for this shit?
Yeah, what is yours?
My number 2,
Yeah, what is your number 2?
Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Oh,
Oh, I'm a fool. I'm a fool.
you're
I
a
tell
fool.
you. Oh, yeah.
Same
is that 2020
people-
though?
See, this is where the problem is. I'm hearing early access crap, but they kept saying early access 2020.
Maybe that's why I'm gonna change my stance and say no. That's 2021. Your number 2 is wrong on the
If it comes out early access, you can suck on these nuts.
early access is not a released game.
Oh God. And anyway, if it comes out even early access,
PC,
I'm picking
bitch.
it up right away. Yeah, it's PC, but like these are the same people that made our what the hell were we playing there? God damn it, the Sin game. Divinity or
Divinity 2.
is it Divinity?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So same people that made Divinity 2.
Oh, and that's great.
and
We gotta play that one more.
I just think like I've always played Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. I remember them fondly, even on the PS2 at the time, I think it was. I played the bejesus out of them, loved them. And then now I just feel like this is the perfect developer to make this.
See, this is number 4 on my 2021 list.
Okay, eat my ass. So I'm super hyped. That's why I put it number 2. What is your number 1? I think I already know.
Yeah, it's Cyberpunk 2077. I'm going on hype level for this list.
Yeah.
I really like what they're doing with the game. I think it's going to be, I don't want to say unique because I think the Deus Ex games are very similar, but I like that type of technology and that era and what they're doing with it. And it's CD Projekt Red. I have much respect for them.
They have the pedigree.
Yeah, they have the pedigree, and it's brought the hype level up there. That's for sure. In all honesty, if Assassin's Creed was going to come out before this one, Assassin's Creed might even have been a little bit higher just because it was coming out sooner, so I've been more excited. But definitely Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, and I can't fault anyone for having Cyberpunk.
It's going to be on a lot of people's lists. I've heard many people's lists, and it's definitely up there.
There's multiple. I think every E3 so far, I've always ranked them number 1 in show for me the last 2 or 3 years. So I totally get where you're coming from. And then, like you said, no surprise, but my number 1 is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I think I mentioned like a week or 2 ago, I've just been in a Viking binge. So I just couldn't believe that they were doing that. It just lines up perfectly. I'm ready for another Assassin's Creed. You know, I did play Odyssey when it first came out. So to me, it's felt like it's been 2 years. I can't wait to get another one. And like I said, with Vikings and what gets me more excited is that 2-year gap, right? Like they've taken some time off to really like hopefully change some stuff, add some stuff. So that just gets me more excited. And because I already know I enjoyed Odyssey. I put over 80 hours in Odyssey. So more of that and Vikings with new mechanics, head explodes.
Boom.
So I can't wait for an episode where we review like our game of the year.
Oh yeah.
After like Cyberpunk and Valhalla and Persona. You know, like is it going to get dethroned? Like that's crazy.
Well, I'm going to just wrap up and throw my other 3 I had on my list really quick. I'll just do kind of rapid fire of things that was excited and it's like, oh, I didn't even know it was coming. I'm gonna add the Dark Pictures anthology Little Hope one.
That's my number 11.
Oh, that's your number 11.
That's my number 11.
Okay,
yeah.
just because I mean we're just starting the Man and Medan, but it's just I love their storytelling. It's just
I think
great.
Man and Medan I'm a little slower on, but Little Hope seems more my like house. So
and Until Dawn, we had so much fun. With
yeah,
that
I
game.
loved Until Dawn.
That,
So
we
I
did
think
that one together. Number 12, I had Amnesia Rebirth.
I saw
that was the scary one I was playing in the background when you're like, what is that? Yeah, I think I liked the first one a lot. The second one was didn't really like it as much, but I'm excited to see what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of a childhood also type of nostalgia one, the new Oddworld.
Oh, okay.
Oddworld Soulstorm.
There's no way it's coming out.
It was listed on the list for 2020, but maybe not. But I don't know. Yep. I mean, I
have no reference for that. So
no.
I've never played Oddworld. It just never interested me.
It was just one of those PlayStation 1 games I remember playing with my buddy, taking turns and sucking horribly at it because it was just, they'd always get you.
So it sounds like that's our entire list of most anticipated 2020 games coming. Unless you disagree with me and you think Baldur's Gate was cheap, Other than
2021.
2020, second, third, fourth quarter. We're past the second quarter. But
Take
anyway,
as long as they need.
yeah, take as long as you need. That game looks great. Do early access. I'll pay as soon as you allow me to. So you've got one customer at
We
least.
are going to play that one co-op.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Oh my god, I can't wait for that. That's gonna be so fun.
It's gonna be fun.
That game looks deep. I can't wait. But hard as shit. I watched the.
Oh yeah, we're gonna.
I
Suck
watched
at
the
it.
own developer lose the first scenario.
It wasn't scripted like every other thing you see.
No man, he lost super fast. But that's D&D, right?
Yeah.
So thanks for listening. Again, we will see you next time every Monday, like usual. And we're signing off. So bye.
Bye bye.
Anything, Rudy. I don't want to believe it, Rudy. I can hate you. Why are you so comfortable? Yeah. Baby.